So Blizzard is finally taking steps to somewhat address some of the issues with Azerite Armor. With the new PTR and everything else going. They are introducing a currency. Woohoo! Currency. I should be more excited for Azerite stuff. This currency can be gained through doing multiple things, like scrapping Season 2 Azerite gear and other stuff. And depending on how easily or hard it will be to get, will depend on how well you'll be able to essentially acquire some Azerite items. Since trying to get Azerite items is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. So, a little extra is good. And it's with a currency that you can get, which is also good. The only problem with it is still RNG. It's going to be, apparently, as of right now, set up similar to in Tanan Jungle, where if you go over there and find the vendor for the Belfast, I can't even remember what they're called. Anyway, the items that you get from Tanan Jungle, gear-wise, they come in these little tokens. Essentially, I can drop off of random mobs, rares, and other things in the jungle, and you right-click and it will make you something random for your gear spec. Or you can go to a vendor and buy them with, like, Apexis crystals or something, which, of course, is the currency that, played a lot in the end game over there during Warlords. To buy several things, like mounts and other stuff, you had to have a bunch of those things. But, anyway, it's going to be something similar to that. It's going to be a vendor, you click it, you get a token for, like, a random trinket. So if you're a hunter, it's going to be whatever your specialization is, whether it's Beastmaster or something. You click it, and it's going to generate you a random Beastmaster trinket, essentially. So it's still RNG with, something that may or may not be very easy to get a hold of, and it's better than, I guess, not having the option. But with that, I have to say, if Blizzard can give us that, we should go ahead and take that inch and run a mile with it. What am I talking about? Me, personally, I like the PvP aspect. Heck, I've done most of the leveling of my druid now purely in PvP. I stayed in the Barrens from like level 10 to level 35 before finishing all the quests in the Barrens, because I was just purely doing PvP during that time. But anyway, what I want, or what we need, is a similar system for the PvP side of things. And, this coming from somebody who played a lot, back all the way up to Kata, and then dropped out for the next couple of expansions, coming back and seeing the changes, going, why? Right now, if you go into your PvP, the group finder, whatever, for PvP, at max level, you're going to see a bar at the top for conquest points. You do things to gain conquest points, arenas, random PvPs, pre-mades, skirmishes, whatever. And you'll get some conquest points. You'll get a large set the first time you do it for the day, then you'll get like 6 or 8 or something every other time you win a match after that, until that bar at the top is full. And then after that, you're awarded a piece of PvP gear. That's got to go. Seriously, has to go. When I first got my hunter up to level 120, I looked at it and was like, ooh, nice. Considering I'm rocking a bow that's like 310 or 3.5, or maybe it was 300, I don't know. It was... So I barely got a chance to really swap a weapon, just doing all the quests all the way up to max level. Very few dropped a weapon that was, better. They would all drop weapons that were like pretty much the same, except for maybe the secondary stat was changed for whatever primary stat for whatever primary spec I was using. And I saw that and I was like, oh, so the first run is going to be a 345 bow. Alright, nice. The stats are good. It's way better than what I'm using. I'm going to shoot for that. I started shooting for it. It gave me something to, work for, and since I love PvP, of course, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Love to do that. I got about halfway there, and somewhere along the line, I got an upgrade for my weapon. That was also 345. I don't remember where the heck it dropped. It's been a while. But, I got an upgrade at 345. And I looked at it and was like, well, heck, now I don't really need that. I mean, I would like the look, but I'm also not going to... I've got other things that I could go do. Grind some rep. Because, that's something they need us to do, especially if I want to do the Pathfinder. Might as well start doing it now. So it's still sitting there. I have not attained that piece. And that's a problem. It's not a problem that I hadn't attained that piece, it's that there might have been other equipment that I could have used that would pop up in that list. Maybe, I'm not still rocking a 340 helm or anything, but, if I was rocking like a 340 helm, and the PvP helm is 345, or maybe they have a stronger version of it further down the line, and it's like 355 or something, maybe, I would like to shoot for that, but at the same time, I also don't want to have to go through, 6 or so runs just to get the first iteration of it, which will be a 345, to then do another, 8 or so runs of filling up that conquest meter, just so I can finally unlock the 355 helmet if there is one. What I would like is to have tokens. I'm already getting Marks of Honor. I can turn those in for, a variety of transmog looks. For so many Marks of Honor, you can turn it in and get like the whole season of whatever look from past expansions and stuff over at, the vendors over in Dollarand or wherever. Or, the vendors over in Ogremire. I've already gone and looked at them. I know it's a thing you can do. But what would be nice, if I could upgrade my weapons and my armor that way too, in PvP. I have no reason to really want to waste my time filling up a conquest meter, especially when it takes so much to fill it up and you have to win. So if you don't have a team, a dedicated guild or anything like that, it makes it a lot harder for some of us players who just don't have that at our disposal. And I understand, it's multiplayer, online, yada yada, play with other people, you've got to do this, that, and the other. At the same time, you may not have people available for your 3v3s or whatever. They may not all get on at the same time. You may not be able to participate in 3v3s. I loved Arena. I used to do Arena all the time back when it came out. Can't really do it now because I don't really have anyone that I know who are dedicated enough to really want to go into that can actually get on when I get on. Considering I work most nights, I've had to miss out on several things unless somebody wants to just bring me along. They're like, yeah, we're looking for somebody for this. I'm like, alright, I'll go. I'd love to do it. I can't really sit down and go, well, I'm going to raid, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, or Saturdays, or anything like that. But, it would be nice to get some kind of, conquest badges instead. I'm pretty sure that was a thing back in the day, was conquest badges. Similar to the Marks of Honor, except for you use them on the conquest vendor instead, for the more higher-end PvP stuff. So, we could take... That would be a perfect thing to do. Take your 345 sets, make them Marks of Honor. You do regular battlegrounds, random battlegrounds, whatever. You get Marks of Honor afterwards. You guarantee 1 mark and 3 if you win. Something like that. You know, that's how it used to be anyway. And then if you want the more higher end sets, you know, the 355s, the 385s for the PvP stuff, you throw in, you know, conquest marks for the 355 stuff. And say you want to gate the higher end, the 385s or something behind the arena only type. You know, because that requires a more dedicated player who really wants to go in and do those. So, you know, you can go ahead and say these are going to be, you know, arena conquests or something, you know, arena badges for those doing the arena, and that's what's going to lock, you know, behind the 385 sets of PvP gear. This way your PvP gear and your PvE gear are on par with each other. It's just one is more geared towards the PvP scene, while the other, for, you know, the people who love the PvP scene, who are not all that interested in PvE. Meanwhile, you also still have a thing for the PvE players to shoot for. And with the Azerite Armor, you know, vendor, essentially, they have a vendor for that as well on the PvE side. If I remember correctly, back in Wrathus when they started that whole thing, maybe, or maybe it was Kata, where they essentially gave you PvE tokens and PvP tokens. You could then make, like, your PvE into PvP tokens at, like, a reduced price. So if you had, like, you know, 20 PvE tokens or whatever, you could turn them in to the vendor and make them PvP tokens instead of PvE, and you would wind up with 10, you know, PvP tokens or something instead. This way you can't just go running from, like, looking for raid or something, grab a bunch of stuff, and then turn them straight into an equal value of, you know, PvP and gear yourself out purely that way. You've got to either A, play a lot more of the PvE side in order to do that, or vice versa. You're going to have to play a lot more of the PvP side to then transfer them into the PvE token. But this way, you know, you give players choice. That is something that the expansion seems to have, or I guess the past two expansions have kind of taken away from the players, the ability to choose things, to choose what they want to focus on. You want everybody to be focused on all bits of content all at the same time. And not everybody wants to do that. There are things that players like that other players don't. I mean, I'm just a great example of that. I love the PvP side, not so much on the PvE anymore. You know, but at the same time, it doesn't mean I just hate raiding, I just not really that interested in it. There are other people who are the complete opposite of that. But everything right now is in a linear path, a progression, to where if I want to unlock the PvP items, I have to go through this step-by-step thing weekly to fill up my conquest meter, just so I can get an item that I may not use. Meanwhile, there could be an item that I would like to use that would be an upgrade for me, but if I want that, I'm going to have to wait until I fill up that bar 6 or 7 times before that will even be available, and then fill it up again for that, just to get it. And at that point, I may have already naturally found an upgrade through raiding or something, or through mythics, or anything else that's going on. I mean, heck, LFR probably has an upgrade at that point. And that's where, you know, we need to take the mile. We need to give let Blizzard know that we want choice. We don't want to be stuck with, if you want it, you're going to have to work at it for 7-8 weeks religiously. If you want to have that, and then, you know, at that point, you may have already found an upgrade somewhere. Because especially when you got things like Titan Forging and stuff like that going on, you know, you could wind up having a 340 piece drop just from doing the war fronts, and then it Titan forges into a 345 or a 355 or whatever it Titan forges to. Or, you could turn in the weekly type quest for it, where it gives you that first quest that you do, you go ahead, you win the war front, you bring it in, it's like guaranteed 370 gear, I think. And that might be an upgrade for something you really, really wanted in the PvP scene. But now you've got to go, well, there's no point to it, so you just let that thing sit. Bring us some badges. Bring us some choice. Bring us some vendors. Even if it's RNG, like they're planning to do with the Azerite, I would rather have that option available to me to buy, a whatever token for PvP, a gladiator token or something, or, buy that for like, 50 marks of honor or 50 conquest points, or not points, but 50 conquest badges or something like that, and go, well, it's going to be at least a guaranteed 355, and I really need a replacement weapon. I've needed one for months now because nothing's been dropping. I go ahead and spend my conquest points on it, let it roll for Beastmaster or something, and hope I get some good secondary stats. I'd rather have that than going, well, I could get that 355 bow from the PvP conquest points, but I need to fill up my conquest meter weekly in order to do that. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 runs in. So that's at least a minimum of 12 weeks working at it. That's not as much fun. There's no excitement at that point. It's a grind that you're going to have to do to get that, but it's not a grind you want to do, because you don't want to grind out for all the useless crap just so you can get the thing that's actually necessary, that you actually need. It's so much better to have a vendor and go, I finally saved up enough conquest badges. Heck yeah, let's buy this. Woohoo! It's 355, it's a bow, or it's a gun, or whatever. Yeah! I mean, the secondary stats could use a reroll. I'm not too happy with that haste, but, still a freaking upgrade, and I love it. That is what players want. They want to have a goal that they set themselves to shoot for, but at the same time, they also don't want that goal gated behind like 11 other steps just to get to it. That's why people hate the whole rep issue that you've had for like the past 3 or so expansions. The needlessly needing to grind rep. Forced grind rep in order to participate in certain things or have certain things. I like the idea that, you can unlock flying with an achievement and it's count-wide. You don't have to dump 5,000 gold into it every expansion. Cool, that's great. But when you lock it behind also gaining exalted or revered with a bunch of reps, that really sucks for people who are coming in new to the game, who would like to know, how do you fly in Draenor? So many other people fly in Draenor. Well, I bought flying for everything else. Can I not buy it here? And then finding out, oh yeah, by the way, if you ever want to fly in Draenor, it's going to be a 28-day rep grind over here in Tanan that you're also going to have to unlock by first unlocking this to unlock this, so you can then get over there, and then you're going to have to do these to unlock the dailies. But now I'm just getting into a tangent to something else. We should end it right here. What do you think? Are you excited about having, I guess, a vendor for Azerite gear? Will that be helpful at all? Would that be better? Or would you have something else in mind? I understand the RNG part of it still isn't all that great, but right now it's better than nothing. Till then, I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.